Then last thing I want to react to why Gunna is thriving and Young Thug is failing. Now, I don't think Young Thug is failing because he definitely has his core audience back now that he's been released. But I definitely feel like Gunna got released a while back, and as soon as he came back, album dropped, songs dropped. He was like foot on the pedal, no brakes. So he's been steady like climbing back since. But I feel like Young Thug has just been like some of his songs, for me personally, not hitting the same as they used to. Um, or like his new music, like, and obviously it makes sense because he can't rap about certain stuff now. Because like, if he slips up once, he's packed up. So it makes sense. But like, I do want to see somebody else's take on why Gunna is doing better than Thug
Yo,
in this
what's good
current
with y'all?
moment.
Welcome back to the channel. And today we gonna lock in on Gunna and Young Thug, man. Once a dynamic duo, now they not even on speaking terms. But in this video, we gonna talk about how Gunna was able to succeed and thrive despite all the allegations, hate, and lack of industry support, while Young Thug, despite having all the hype getting out of jail, has been failing. But in order to do that, we got to go back to 2022. Young Thug, Gunna, and 26 others swept up in Georgia's RICO case, accused of running a criminal enterprise under the YSL name. Suddenly, lyrics became evidence and affiliations became charges. Thug refused to take any deals, but Gunna decided that after 8 months of being locked up and having bail denied on several occasions, that he would negotiate a plea agreement that would allow him to come home early while Thug remained behind bars. At first, people were celebrating. Meek Mill tweeted in support of Gunna, welcoming him home, and blogs were calling it a win. But it wasn't long before court footage dropped exposing what actually led to his release.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
Look, give me some McDonald's. When you come back, I might remember something. Can you do that?
Oh, yeah. Big Mac, fries, Coke.
Yeah.
Done.
Gunna did the unthinkable. The narrative flipped instantly. People started labeling Gunna as a rat and began getting trolled for saying yes ma'am on the stand.
Gunna want it, man. You can't be in the city doing all that ratting and shit. Rat ass.
Meek eventually deleted his tweet and things started going downhill quickly for Gunna. But here's the thing. Gunna never testified against Thug, never took the stand in his case, and never mentioned Thug's name in court. And yet his name got run through the mud like he was the main reason Thug was in.
But to be honest, even though he never mentioned it, and I'm like, Gunna favorite artist, is it like currently favorite? I feel like, yes, you don't diss Thug or like associates of YSL, you don't mention them by name, but you still said YSL is what it is. And since Thug started YSL, you can only assume if that's what you say YSL is, they're gonna assume that was the intention of the leader.
Jail. Gunna released a public statement to his Instagram after receiving so much backlash. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it.
While when I became affiliated with YSL in 2016, I did not consider it a gang, more like a group of people from Metro Atlanta who had common interests and artistic aspirations. My focus with YSL was entertainment, rap artists who wrote and performed music that exaggerated and glorified urban life in the black community. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. I've chosen to end my own RICO case with an Alfred plea and end my personal ordeal by publicly acknowledging my association with YSL. An Alfred plea in my case is the entry of a guilty plea to the one charge against me, which is in my best interest, while at the same time maintaining my innocence towards the same charge. I love and cherish my association with YSL Music and always will. I look at this as an opportunity to get back to my community and educate young men and women that gangs and violence only lead to destruction. So essentially, he's saying he said he was guilty of his charge, but his charge didn't hold enough weight to keep him locked up, so he's free. Um, but then I look at this as an opportunity to get back to my community, educate young men and women that quote unquote gangs and violence only lead to destruction. So to say why so is not a game, but then end it with educating that young men and women that gangs and violence only lead to destruction is like, you feel me? I can see where people see that and they kind of take it as like he did rat. Um, I st- I still feel like though it's cool. Or yeah, my fault. It's not cool. I still feel like you got to take what he says because like he was actually in the courtroom. He was actually the one that made the deal. So like you can't speak on it from outside of like him and his lawyer and the people involved for real. Now if they come out and say or like a video leaks and it's like he name dropped somebody, then yeah, you low key gotta defend yourself a little harder with that one. But for the time being, he made good music. He did, and if he did snitch, he didn't snitch on me. So I'm a tune into the music every time.
Perfectly
That
clear
that's
that I
my
have not
philosophy.
made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify to be
Oh,
a
he was
witness
about to read it
for or
too.
against any process in any person is the interest while I
I
admit
read it.
guilt,
I was
but
scared.
agreed there was enough evidence to convict him. This
We about to eat
caused
my
a
Giano.
bigger conversation to take place in the industry on what can and can't be considered snitching, which has always felt like a moving target. Jewel Wicker would release an article that got the attention of Gunna's attorney Steve Sado, titled "Gunna's 2022 release from jail has raised speculation from hip-hop fans regarding snitching." Sado would defend these snitching allegations in response to this article by saying, "What was said at his Alfred plea hearing was solely to resolve his own case. It cannot be used by the prosecution against Young Thug or any other defendant." But even with his attorney adding clarification and coming to his defense, it still was unclear whether Gunna's Alfred plea could be considered snitching or not, and that courtroom footage felt impossible to overcome. It wasn't long before Gunna started losing all his industry support. Lil Baby unfollowed him. Lil Durk publicly distanced himself from him.
Do you believe that Gunna told that man, I don't sit up and play games, man. That man told. You should have went in there and kept your mouth closed.
And even Wheezy, his longtime friend and producer, publicly called him a rat. But this is where Gunna's redemption arc
His
truly
producer
began.
called
Gunna
him a
didn't
rat.
beg for forgiveness. He didn't explain himself in interviews. He let the music talk. His first single, Bread and Butter, was a statement piece. He took shots at prosecutors, at fake friends, at the whole situation.
And Bread and Butter was the perfect, perfect, perfect return to the industry. I will not lie. Everybody was singing Bread and Butter, and then he went and dropped "F You Mean." Everybody singing that. So he had two. He came back and had two back-to-back songs that everybody was jacking. Everybody was singing. Like he did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. And then he changed the narrative. Like then he dropped the whole album, A Gift and a Curse. He started going on tour. Everybody was at the tour. Like whole. Like yeah, he Gunna did what he had to do that summer. I will not lie to you, and he executed it perfectly.
And then he dropped A Gift and a Curse, a solo album with no features, and a project that felt like a man rebuilding his foundation in real.
And there's two, Bread and Butter, or Gift and a Curse of the album. No features, no skips either. One man army standing on 10. Like he did what had to be done. He did
Time
what had
and
to be
rapping for
done.
his life. You Mean blew up TikTok, clubs, radio, billboard. It was everywhere, and the fan base started shifting. Comments like "he ain't snitch on me" became common. That wasn't just trolling, that was people choosing the music over those street politics. Gunna's fan base evolved. His story became one of resilience, not scandal. Plus, his music never relied heavy on street content anyway. He was making hits, and that's what people showed up for. Now, contrast that with Thug. When he got released in October 2024, the culture erupted. IG stories from Nicki, Travis, Drake, they all showing him love. It felt like a moment. He had truly beaten the odds. Everyone had him counted out and thought that he was going to be put to jail for an extremely long time. But turns out his plea deal came with serious strings. Thug pled guilty and was sentenced to time served, but it also hit him with 15 years of probation, a 10-year ban from Metro Atlanta, and heavy restrictions. no gang references, no contact with former YSL affiliates. He even has to do anti-gang presentations, and any
But the crazy thing is, um, the terms were no affiliation with X YSL or with YSL affiliates, but he was able to. What I saw was he was able to say he was able to request to be able to kick it with Gunna, but has yet to kick it with Gunna that we've seen publicly. But I feel like that's definitely something that would have leaked had we seen Gunna and Thug in the same room.
step could land him right back inside. But something was odd. Young Thug requested the court to allow him to still be able to make music with Gunna despite all the drama online, whether or not he snitched.
Mr. Williams have no contact with any of the co-defendants in this indictment, with the exception of Mr. Quantavious Greer, that is his biological brother, as well as Mr. Sergio Kitchens. He's a phenomenal artist. He goes performer known as Gunna, G-U-N-N-A. Mr. Williams and Mr. Kitchens are contractually obligated, and they frequently perform music.
And while Gunna never did much talking online, his actions showed he still wanted to maintain his friendship and relationship with Thug, despite the allegations yelling free slime.
So I wonder if he did that because it's a thing of I want to seem like the bigger person, like it's no beef with him. So then it would look better on him if they were to end up hanging out, or like him just saying that made him seem like a bigger person. And it's like, okay, maybe this hasn't affected him in no malice way. But they also haven't performed together yet. Like I could understand, like yes, they have songs together. So like if you want the crowd to go crazy, you want to be able to perform with him and continue to make music. But they haven't done that yet. So it's like, what was the point of requesting to be able to talk to Gunna?
During shows and performing a lot of their old collabs. But that dynamic shifted when Thug tweeted just 1 month after his release, "Gunna, stop acting like we friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy." That
He actually tweeted that? I remember seeing some that said he tweeted something about Gunna, but it was like a subliminal, and then they said it wasn't him. He really said, Gunna, stop acting like we're friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy. Now, hey, delusion, this is where delusion comes in. What if you meant Gunna like, I'm gonna stop doing this? Like, you're gonna stop doing that. Like, he's saying he's gonna stop acting like, yeah, nah, he meant that for Gunna.
different. It was the first time Thug made it clear that whatever relationship they had was done. There was no more speculation. Instead of Thug dropping music out the gate, he just tweeted. In fact, the only way to get anything from Thug was to go on Twitter, not Spotify, not Apple Music. It would take until March, 5 months after his
Free Pooh Shiesty is actually insane to see in 2025. Just in the sense of like, that's crazy. We was listening to Pooh Shiesty like a little, me personally, a little bit before he blew up and went like viral. Then he had to go and get locked up. But that was 2020, 2021. It was only like a 5-6%. So he should be getting out next year, actually. So this will also be interesting to see how he comes back to the game. Or if he does. I hope he does, because he was dropping good music. Dang, I definitely need some more Pooh Shiesty.
release to finally mention anything about music, saying, "Y'all motherfuckers gonna have to beg me to drop this shit, no kizzy." On Tuesday, April 1st, now 6 months after his release, Thug posted a picture of the DA's investigator calling her a liar, risking another violation. They argued that it endangered a protected witness and violated terms. The judge declined prison time but warned him to exercise restraint. You would think the tweets would stop here after nearly landing him back in the position he fought so hard to escape. But nope, he decided to throw a random shot at Kid Cudi over his testimony in the Diddy case that he was required by law to participate in after receiving a federal subpoena.
Just last week, Ventura testified.
He called you a rat for snitching on Diddy? Yo. Getting you got called a rat for snitching on Diddy? The same Diddy that dabbles in abuse? The same Diddy that did all of that to Cassie? The same Diddy that had the freak offs? The same Diddy that touched men? And the same Diddy that had copious amounts of baby oil? Yeah, nah, you lost me. You lost me, thug. We definitely gotta respectfully, respectfully, folks like Diddy, we gotta snitch on. We gotta get them off the streets.
That Sean Combs had threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car because he had found out about their
Like, you feel me? Like, you threatened to blow up my car? Like, come on now.
relationship together.
Like, bro, he tried to blow up his car over Cassie, someone he beat on camera for the world to see. Read the room. People wanted music, not messy tweets. Thug was released in October, and it would be a long 6 months before he would eventually release his single Money on Money featuring Future, an unimpressive introduction to this new era of Young Thug. This release fell flat and barely crept into the top 40 on Billboard at its peak. UI Scuddy was supposed to be the big return. Instead, he's been unable to
Barely cropped into the top, barely cracked into the top 40 is like bad? Oh, I guess for Thug's name is gonna be high, so it could have been higher. I'm thinking like at least it made top 100. But 6 month break from Thug and it's his first drop. Okay, that
build an
makes sense.
ounce of hype around his music, with fans on Reddit saying he lost it. People questioning if the fire is even there. For someone who once defined Atlanta's sound, this was a scary fall from grace. You see, Gunna's blow up has been deeper than just the music. After getting out, he slimmed down, stayed quiet, and focused on his health and growth. Gunna also quietly covered up his YSL tattoo. No rant, no drama, just a clean break. And that didn't sit right with Thug, who jumped into the comments saying, I mean, he did say it should end, LOL, referring back to the court footage of Gunna on the stand. Another tweet, another delete. But at that point, the message was loud. Thug was watching Gunna closely, and it's eating at him. Meanwhile, Gunna never responded, not even once. No subtweets, no sneak disses, just more music.
And that's the best way to play it. Don't let these folks mess with your energy and what you got going on. Gunna got out, blew up, was on the rise. Thug came out sending subliminal tweets. Gunna said, all right, took it on the chin, kept releasing music. And who kept tuning in? The fans, the listeners. Every time he dropped. So it's like, and he's still growing. So, block out the noise and just keep going on your journey.
More wins. He's been moving like someone who already made peace with the fallout. Like someone who accepted that the old chapter is over and he's not begging to come back. But on Thug's end, it's like he's stuck. And honestly, this Reddit post said it best. For Thug to be this hot over Gunna tells me he knows Gunna would be just fine without him. And it bothers him. Now, to be fair, Thug brought Gunna into the game.
I'm gonna go back just so y'all can see. This is an insane picture of Thug, family. This is an insane picture of Thug. He got a mean gut. Oh my goodness.
Without him. And it bothers him. Now, to be fair, Thug brought Gunna into the game. He helped shape him, made space for him in YSL, and gave him a lane. So from Thug's perspective, this wasn't just industry beef. It felt like betrayal on a personal level, like someone he considered a brother might have played a role in him getting locked up for life. Even though the legal facts don't support that idea, since Gunna never actually testified against him, it's not easy for Thug to look past that courtroom footage. We as fans can separate the music from the street politics, but for Thug, that moment was unforgivable. Still, what's undeniable in this, Gunna has survived everything that should have crushed him. Industry blackballing, internet hate, snitch allegations, and somehow he's the one thriving. Thug is watching what happened in real time, and it's hard for him to accept. He's trying to force these outdated street rules on fans who just don't care. At the end of the day, this whole saga stopped being about who snitched and started being about who seized the moment and delivered. People are riding with Gunna because the music's hitting. Simple as that. Bread and Butter hit. A Gift and a Curse hit. You mean hit. It took over the culture. The memes, the TikToks, the sold out shows. It's not because people forgot what happened. It's because they've moved on. They see an artist who was isolated by the industry but owned his moment and bounced back a better artist for it. Gunna never leaned into the drama. He leaned into growth. He gave people something real and now he's reaping the benefits. Meanwhile, Thug, he's struggling to catch that same wave. His attempts to drag Gunna back into the mud have fallen flat. His sneak disses feel bitter. His album rollout feels uninspired. Fans were hyped for his return, but every drop or preview since his release has felt underwhelming. People don't want to hear drama, they want to hear hits. They want growth. And unless Thug locks in and delivers that, he's at serious risk of watching the culture move on without him. And now things are coming full circle. Gunna's already teasing the last one, his final album under YSL. It's a subtle but symbolic move. The title alone feels like a message, like he's tying up that last loose end before fully walking away from the past. And just as Gunna pressed for this moment, rumors are going around that Thug may finally be ready to drop his comeback album around the same time. This could get very interesting if Thug decides to compete with Gunna and drop on his date, something that was rumored to happen while he was still behind bars, but it was difficult to confirm whether it was real or AI generated.
I'm dropping this surprise album on the same day Buddy dropped his album. That shit coming up soon. I need a verse from you. If you feel like replying, if you feel like you want to reply to what they're saying or something, man, don't do it. Drop it on my album. I'm dropping a surprise album on the same day that dropping. Send your verse in, bro. I want you and Wham on the same song. Send your verse in.
This was originally referring to the Business is Business album that Thug dropped behind bars, but he could be looking to do something like this again considering he never went through with it. Whether he decides to drop on the same day or not, what's clear is that they are on two completely different paths leading into their upcoming album. Gunna walked out of jail skinny, sharp, and refocused. Thug came out bloated, bitter, and unfocused, literally and metaphorically. And honestly, that contrast says everything about where their careers are headed right now. One is ascending, the other is descending. But I'll end with this. Thug is still one of the most talented artists of our time, no question. But he's not creating under the same conditions anymore. Every lyric, every post, every move is under a microscope.
But I understand, rap lyrics. I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that, and I promise you I'm 100% changing that. It's just, I'm older, I'm grown now, and it's just like, I'm smarter. It's more things to rap about. Like, I've experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever.
If there was ever a moment for him to grow, it's now. And honestly, he might need to take a page out of Gunna's book. Lock in, get focused. Tighten up mentally and physically. Let the music do the talking, not the tweets. Because the culture's moving forward, and if Thug keeps clinging on to the past, he may just get left behind. Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts below. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.
Oh, we definitely reacting to that next stream.